Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Harvey from Black Forex Traders. So in this video I'll be doing market breakdown on gold and Gbpusd. So I'll be showing you my previous trade from this week. Then I'll be showing you how I took them and everything. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So I'm going to start with Gbpusd. The first thing that I did this week when I took those trades, I looked for my rejection point because Gbpusd was going down. Then I said, okay, this is my first order block here. And I drew my two lines like this. Then, as you can see, this is where they made something like a W. And then they went up. So I went to smaller time frame. As you can see, let me go to 30 minutes because I used 30 minutes time frame. As you can see, this is where they started to reject from that other block lines. As you can see, this is where they went up and down. So I took the trade from this pin here. Remember, this pin was full until here, so it was a beautiful pin bar. So this is where I took the trade. I took the trade from this point. For the first confirmation was the bullish order block. Second one was the rejection point here. Then was this pin bar. I had this pin bar and I said, okay, they are respecting this line. Then I said my take profit point will be this three lows here. Then I used this lows as my take profit point like this. Then my stop loss was on the lower line of the order block like this. As you can see, they did really went up and down. So the first they went up into profit for around 25 pips, and then they went down to the very break-even point where I took the entry, and then they went up. They came again, they challenged the low. So this was a more like a interesting area because they came here a lot at this point using this leg here. As you can see, then eventually they went up and then they hit my take profit point. So after hitting my take profit point, I saw them going down. I saw them making this movement, and then I said, okay, I thought maybe they will come to the order block again. Then I said, okay, let me see. Then I saw them going down. Then I saw this rejection candlestick, this bullish candlestick here. And I said, okay, why will they reject at this point? Then I said, okay, let me use my last consolidation point, which is my demand zone, which is this one. As you can see, I said, okay, I have a demand zone here. Then as you can see, I had this rejection point. Then I had the bullish candlestick here. So those are my confirmations so that I can take the trade. So the other one, I said, okay, let me use the Fibonacci. Then I used the last low, which is this one, and the high like this. Then I said, okay, as you can see, they rejected around the 61.8 level here. And I said, okay, I have my confirmations, everything's going well. Since my bias is for buy, so I got the bias from H4 time frame, so I'll be looking for buy opportunities only. So this was the first one, it hit take profit point. So this is the second one from the demand zone here. So as you can see, after this candle closed, this is where I took my trade here. I took this trade from this point. Sorry, I took it from here. This was my entry point. My stop loss was below, was around this point, if I remember. Then I said, okay, my first take profit point will be the previous high, which is this one. This will be my first take profit point. Then the second one will be this one. Then I said, okay, let me draw my supply zone, which is this one. Then I drew it like this. And I said, okay, this is going to be my second take profit point. Then I said, okay, like this. As you can see, the first take profit point was hit on the second attempt, because on the first attempt they rejected from 25 pips, I guess. Then they went down to the break-even point from my entry point. Then they went up again. Then they hit my take profit point. They went down. So this was a very sketchy movement, but eventually they started moving in this consolidation movement, but they went up until they reached my take profit point. So remember, I had the bias for buy, so I'll be looking for buy opportunities. But this is where I said, okay, if they come to this point, this is where I anticipate them to reject. So if they give me a pattern and everything that I used to take the interest, then I'm gonna take the trade. So as you can see, when they reach this point, they give me the first leg, then they give me the second leg, so they give me an information here. So that was the first confirmation that they might reject at this point. The second one is this pin here, and I saw this pin here. Then the third one was this bearish candlestick here. So once this candle closed here, then I said, okay, I'm taking this one. I'm taking this trade here. Then I said, okay, what will be my take profit point? My take profit point will be the last or the previous demand, which is this one, like this. As you can see, the stop loss was around there, so they didn't really reach my take profit point on the demand zone. So it was around maybe 15 to 10 pips until they reached my TP. So once I saw this rejection here, I said, okay, I'm taking what's mine, because it was Friday, this was Thursday, I think this was Monday or Tuesday. So this was Tuesday. So I said, okay, I'm taking my profit this Friday. I don't hold trades over the weekend, so I closed. So as you can see, the reason why I took this trade is because they reached my supply zone, or the level where I said, okay, if they reach this point, I'm gonna look for sell opportunity. So as you can see, because here they rejected with the pin and then they went down. So this was a very huge momentum here until they reached this point. So they came again to challenge the previous high, which is this one. And then as you can see, they failed to take the high, and then they started to drop. As you can see, they dropped very well. This is why I took this trade. But these buys, remember, I spotted them from higher time frame, from H4 time frame. This is why I saw the buyers to look for buy opportunities on smaller time frame. So without wasting any time, let's go to gold. Okay, this is gold. If you remember, this analysis is from the previous video that I posted here on YouTube. As you can see, I anticipated them to come to this point and give me something like a W, and then they went up. So as you can see, they really gave me something like a fake W here. So I took this buy here. I won't lie, I took the buy here. Then they took me out. So I said, okay, they took me out, but I'm inside a channel here. So what will be the reason? So I said, okay, I went to a higher time frame. Sorry. As you can see, I had this trend line which connected this one, two, three. So this was the third. So the fourth touch here. This is what they went for, since they broke the support line that I drew here. So once they reach this point, this is where I looked for buy. Then I got my buy. Then I took the buy until this trend line here. So I said, okay, this might take profit point. Then I will see if they either break the trend line or they reject. They come to the support line and then they went up. So let's go to a smaller time frame. Sorry. As you can see, from a smaller time frame, they didn't really reach my take profit point. As you can see, then they did what? They break it, then they retested. So I took this one here. I scalped this one from this point. Then after this candlestick, then I closed because I wasn't sure what they're gonna do next. So I was just scalping in and out, in and out. Then they started doing this movement here. Then once I saw this movement, I started to spot this channel here. Okay, let me zoom it out. I started to spot this channel here. So I said, okay, I'm gonna wait for them to either break on the lower side or on the upper side. As you can see, they broke on the upper side with this bullish momentum here. Then they rejected, and then they retested on the trend line, and then they went up. So once I saw this candlestick here, this is where I took the trade. Then my take point was with this lines here. They represent the previous high from this point here. As you can see, let me just draw another one like this. So this is my supply zone here. Sorry. So as you can see, they went from this point to my supply zone, which is this one, as you can see. But from this point, I didn't sell. I didn't sell with them because I wasn't sure that they're gonna go down forever or they're just gonna make a pullback and then they'll continue going up. So I woke up around 4 a.m. Then I saw this movement here. I drew this trend line like this. I saw this pattern. I said, this is a beautiful pattern here. I said, okay. Then I saw them breaking it at this point. And I said, okay, I'm selling this one. Then I took the sell around this point. Then I said, what could be my take profit point? Then I said, okay, my take profit point will be the previous breakout, which is this one. Then I draw my lines like this using this small consolidation point here, because if you look at this, let me try to clean here so that you can be able to see what I'm talking about. If you look at this, you can see we have a small consolidation point here, which is the base. So as you can see, this was my take profit point like this. Then the stop loss was inside this channel here, which was a tight one like this. So I said, okay, this is my take profit point. As you can see there, I went to sleep. Then when I woke up, they hit the take profit point. Then this was around New York session. This one, as you can see, it was a very beautiful W, which I took also, but I got out around after this two candlestick. This is where I got out because I didn't want to hold the trades over the weekend. This is where I took my profit points or my profit. Then I went out. So if you look at this, what I just told you, I followed my rules. First of all, second one, I followed the pattern. As you can see, I waited for the pattern to give me a direction. So this was the pattern. As you can see, they were consolidating, giving me a channel. So I waited for a breakout on the lower side, or maybe they can come to this point, give me a W, go up, or break it on the upper side. As you can see, they broke it on the upper side and then they went up. So I took the trade, but this one I didn't take it because I wasn't sure that they're gonna start to sell. So I wanted a confirmation. So once I saw this movement, I said, okay, now they're going down. Then I saw this consolidation. Then I said, okay, this is a beautiful thing. I'm gonna wait for them to break maybe on the upper side to challenge this high and go down, or they can break, retest, and go down. So once I saw this break, I said, I'm taking the trade. I'm not gonna wait for them to come again and retest. So if they retest, that's on them. So I took the trade and then it paid, as you can see. Then I also took this buy on the New York session. Then I just take them these two candlesticks around this point, and I was out. So I followed my rules from this point because they took me out here. So once they took me out here, I wanted to know the reason why they are going down. Then I found that they are going for the trend line on this bigger channel here. Then as you can see, they gave me this pin here. Then they started to give me this movement. So I took the entry around this point because I wanted more confirmation. Because once I saw this bullish candlestick, this is where my stop loss was around this point. Then the TP was around this point. Then I took this trade. Then it paid off. Then this one also, it was a small scalp until this point. It paid off. And this one also paid off. This one I didn't take it. I only took this one. So this week, I only trade Euro USD, gold, and GBP USD, and Australian dollar. That's all. So this is how I trade the pairs and the gold. So I followed these buyers. Remember these buyers here. I followed these buyers because I had the buyers to buy, but they didn't buy where I wanted them to. So they gave me this movement to the low sides, and I said, okay, I'm gonna wait for them to give me a confirmations to buy. Then that's when I got these trend lines here, the bigger channel. Then that's when I started to look for buy opportunities. Same applies to GBP USD. It's the same thing that applies here. I just look for buy opportunities until they give me a rejection point where I can say, okay, now they can go down. As you can see, this was a very beautiful rejection here. That's why I took this sell. Then it paid off. So these were beautiful trades for me this week. I hope this helps you in order to be able to know how to approach the market when you open your market or your pair. When you start to analyzing, you know what to start. You start from higher time frame, Then you get your buyers. Then when you go to smaller time frame, that's why you look for buy opportunities or sell opportunities. Then you know your key levels where you know that the market can reject here or the market can just break the point and go up. So you wait for confirmations when you reach those key levels and see what the market gives you. So without wasting any time, guys, that's where the video ends. So can you please subscribe and hit that like button so that you don't miss anything that I post in the future. Thank you.